Mistakes. You guys, I have made plenty of mistakes on Outschool. And while these mistakes did help me to become successful on Outschool and I learned from those mistakes, it just took me a longer time. I want to show you the mistakes that I made so that hopefully you don't have to make the same mistakes and that you can become successful at a faster rate on Outschool so that you can start getting your ideal hours and all those things. I just want to help you become successful and reach your goals. So hello for anyone that is new. My name is JennaLee from liveeteach.com, and in this channel I post weekly videos on teaching online, the online teaching world, how to become successful with teaching online, and how to become your own boss. If you do want more videos like this, you can click subscribe below, and also give this video a thumbs up if you like the type of content. When you do give it a thumbs up, it shows me that these are the type of videos that you want. And I can post more videos of the things that you really need in the moment. All right, so let's get into it. The first mistake that I made on Outschool was that I did not niche down enough. All right, so on Outschool, niching down is really huge. And when I talk about niching down, I'm talking about choosing one thing to teach and just really creating so many classes about that one thing so that students and parents know what teacher you are, what you teach. Now, the thing about Outschool is that there are some subjects that are highly popular. And with these, you have to niche down even further. So for instance, if you're going to teach English online, like English as a second language, or any language for that matter, most languages, then you're going to have to not only say, okay, my niche is teaching English or tutoring English, but you also have to go from there and niche down further. So for instance, you can make your classes just about phonics. Now, if you search through Outschool and you're seeing a lot of phonics classes and a lot of teachers in that specific niche, then unfortunately you have to niche down again. I've seen teachers be really successful with kind of having a theme to their classes if there's a huge niche like this and it's so popular. So some teachers that I've seen have gone into the technology world and really made their classes super interactive, and some teachers kind of niche down into, okay, we're gonna sing about phonics and something like that. But you need to know that the more popular the subject that you're going to teach on Outschool, the more you have to niche down even further. So not even just picking a subject, but going even further than that and niching all the way down. Now, on the other end of things, there might be subjects that are not quite as popular on Outschool. And with those, you don't really want to niche down too much, because the parents and learners might be looking for the general classes in those. So I'll give you an example of something that I teach that doesn't require so much niching down. So I teach violin lessons, and there aren't a lot of teachers that are on Outschool teaching violin lessons. There are a good amount, but not a ton, right? So I don't have to compete with so many teachers. For violin, the parents right now are looking for group lessons. So that is quite general, and I don't have to niche down so much. I don't even have to pick a theme, right? I just offer beginner violin group lessons, and that's enough for me to get a booked out class. The main point here that I'm trying to make is niche down and pick a subject. And if that subject is really popular, niche down even further, but only niche down if you need to. Let's move on to mistake number 2. The second mistake that I made on Outschool is that I did not provide a funnel for my classes. Interestingly enough, I chose a really popular class. It was signing a song in American Sign Language. It was signing Moana's How Far I'll Go. It was extremely popular in the time. It was summer at the time that I offered this class, and I got a ton of bookings. I got classes that were booked full every single time that I offered it. So it was very popular. I was getting many followers because of this, but I did not offer another class that students could join. And this, now at the time, I didn't know if I was going to do Outschool full time, but now that I really want that as a goal or have that as a goal, I realized, oh my goodness, I made a huge mistake there. I should have funneled it into another class. Make sure that you're not only creating a one-time class, but if your goal is to have part-time or full-time hours on Outschool, create a class that students can click on right after they finished your last class. Now I have an ongoing class that we learn little parts of songs each week, and brain fart. Yes, so we learn songs in American Sign Language each week. So it's very similar to my one-time class, but the kids can come each week, and go out and in when they can. Anyway, the other thing I have to say about that is when you have a one-time class, make sure that it's related to the class you're funneling into, because you want to give the students a good glimpse into what they'll be doing in the ongoing class or multi-day class. Because if they like the one-time class, then they're gonna expect that that ongoing or multi-day class is gonna be very similar. So make sure that it's around the same type of class. You don't want it to be super different, right? Or else the students won't stay for very long. When you are funneling from a one-time class to another class, I would advise you to have an ongoing class or a multi-day class, because this not only gives students a chance to come week by week, but it also gives you a chance to have a more consistent schedule. And so I would definitely say funnel into an ongoing class or a multi-day class, but make sure that you are funneling in the first place. Another mistake I made with Outschool is I did not make my titles extremely searchable, and I also didn't really create interesting names for my classes. And with Outschool, because of the platform and because it's growing and there are a lot of teachers on the platform and we're all competing, you really need to stand out, but not only stand out, get to the top of the Outschool algorithm. And the simplest way that I can explain this is a searchable title is a title that, parents or students are going to put in the search. Maybe they want to have a class about baking gluten-free Christmas cookies. So they might actually just put gluten-free Christmas cookies, or they might put how to bake gluten-free Christmas cookies, right? So you want to include that in your title, because that's going to be one of the first classes or titles that comes up on Outschool once they search that. And not only that, but you also want to make yours stand out apart from the others, because there are going to be maybe other classes that have the same searchable title in them. So how are you going to include that title but also make it interesting? Some ways to do this are by maybe using some rhymes, some plays on words, some alliteration, things like that. One of my classes that I actually don't offer right now because it just wasn't really popular, I thought I did really well on the title. And the title was Fit as a Fiddle. And I said, learn a fiddle tune once a week to become a master at the violin. So I created that searchable learn how to fiddle in my title, but I also kind of played around with the words at the beginning, fit as a fiddle. So play around with your titles a bit, but you still want to include that searchable word, those searchable phrases in your title as well. Another place you want to include those same searchable terms are in your summary in Outschool and your class description. So make sure that you're also including that same phrase in both of those things. Another mistake I made, don't you just love hearing about all my mistakes? Is when coming over from VIP Kid and GoGo Kid, so online ESL companies. they don't really require you to communicate with parents too much. In fact, there's not even a way to directly communicate with parents unless you go off on your own and have a WeChat. So you're not really expected to communicate with parents. But with Outschool, it's a little bit different, okay? You have a direct line of communication. So you want to use that, right? You want to build relationships with students on Outschool, and you want students to keep coming back and wanting more classes with you. So communication is really important in Outschool. And you don't have to be all out when you communicate with parents, but something that really helped me is after every class with a new student, I will send their parent a message and say, I really enjoyed meeting Alice in class today. It was so fun to get to know her, and I hope to see her in another class soon. Thank you, and then your name. Right? When you are signing off and signing your name or signature, you don't want to say Teacher Jenna, right? That is an online ESL thing. So make sure that you're just signing your first name. Messaging the parent like this symbolizes that you care about the relationship with the learner and the student, and you want more of a relationship with them. So it's just really nice for parents to see that and know that you care. Even if you care, but if you're not sending those messages, the parents aren't really going to know that you want to see their child again. So that's all the mistakes I have for today. But I will update you if I think of any more. So if you thought this video was helpful and you want to hear more about Outschool, give this video a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.